Before I start up the video, I would like to say thank you to the channel members. Nuffles, Annette Fisher, Steve Hughes, The Yabbick, Kriegsman, and Elias, I don't know. Join the channel to become a member and sign up today. That being said, hey everybody, it's Blast Cat Badger again, back with another reaction request from the Discord. And this one comes from, again, someone who's consistently put a million videos in the queue, and there wasn't much randomization to pick from. And shout out to James J, though, for sending a recommendation for a longer video. We will do that later as a live stream after this one uploads, a while after this one uploads, probably later on tonight, like I did last night. So, James J, don't worry, I'm getting to yours. It's just that one's longer, this one's shorter. So, that being said, let me clear all this other stuff up. Okay, so, this is from Brandon Peters on the Discord. If you want to jump into the Discord and send recommendations for reactions while the channel's still around, unless we get at least 5 more members, then please, down in the description box is going to be a link to the Discord. And I try to get the most updated links, but sometimes they don't work. If that fails, just go to Discord, sign up for Discord, and then look for the Blast Cat Badger Discord server. It's the only one on Discord that there is. You can't miss it. That being said, let's jump in. So this is from Shadivirsity. I don't think I've watched any of their videos before. Knights destroy dinosaurs. Scientific proof. Let's see what this is.
Shadivirsity.
Great.
I like the like early 90s, late 80s style like introduction animation. I love it.
Things I am Shad, and there is a question that must be answered. One of those timeless and important questions that we need to figure out. Could a knight defeat a dinosaur? Now, there's actually a bit more complexity to this question than you might think. Mostly we're going to be looking at equivalent kind of size.
So here's the thing. There are some theories that there were leftover, like a few surviving dinosaurs that were the last of their breeds that existed alongside humans for a short time. And that's possibly where the stories for like dragons and monsters came from. But there hasn't so far been a lot of evidence found that that's the case. But it's a fun theory if it's not even true. But if it turns out to be true, that sounds pretty cool.
And so, around human size, though later on we'll briefly look at some of the more unfair comparisons like a Tyrannosaurus. Let's explore the most fair comparison that we can. And in terms of what type of dinosaur, it's like the Velociraptor size in Jurassic Park, even though that's not the true size of Velociraptors. The Velociraptors in Jurassic Park and World actually reflect the sizes of what is called a Utah raptor. And that's the kind of size right then that we're going to be looking at. But to make this comparison and test to see how a knight could defeat a dinosaur, how difficult would it be, or easy, might be easy, we need a dinosaur. And for that we are in luck. We have a dinosaur to fight against. And, oh my goodness, it's a, why are you holding a katana?
I like this kind of stuff. This kind of tongue-in-cheek gab kind of stuff. I like this. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Actually, that's the best I can't make this other part larger. But I would have to sit a little bit, and then I'd have to move this up. But I can't just drag it down. Yeah, that's not gonna work, I don't think. Well, maybe like this. Maybe. Or this way? But this way is easier because I could be in the frame. This way is pretty easy, but then that video takes up most of the space. I don't even know at this point. I give up. I give up. I'm just going to do it this way. I'm pretty limited on my options, even though I paid for this freaking app. Anyway, let's go.
We have it. Now, we actually will be looking at if the dinosaur could use a weapon, and if not. But to begin with, Sir Dinosaur, but not a weapon yet. Not a weapon. Okay? We'll bring it back. We'll bring it back. So, but we'll need to figure out what's the best weapon for me to use against it. You have your natural weapons. Like, look at this. Look at this size of this mouth. And just to show you how well trained this dinosaur is, look at this. Look at this. And he doesn't bite. But before we get into the actual combat and fighting, I'm actually feeling a little bit pecked.
Of course, people know, yes, in real life, most likely the dinosaur would just chomp down on you and munch on you, because that's what they'll do.
Need some energy. So, look, Raptor, we need a break for lunch. We'll find something to eat.
All right, what are we going to eat?
We got a couple of things.
Yeah.
I feel like chicken.
Oh, funny you say that, because, you know, my species actually, we went on to evolve into the modern day chicken that you guys enjoy today.
Chicken? And you're basically saying you like the really big chicken.
Basically, I'm just a gigantic walking chicken. Why are you looking at me like that?
Good thing we got HelloFresh! Oh yeah! If you haven't tried HelloFresh before, now is a brilliant... They have a range of... recommend HelloFresh. I have a pet peeve and start with 3 meals and 3 surprise gifts. It really is great stuff. You'll not be disappointed. And thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Let's look at this. We'll start with a longsword, okay? I do have a pet peeve in dinosaur movies, and it's how incredibly effective dinosaurs usually are against people. I want to address this, and then we'll actually look at the knight's capacities and things. But usually in dinosaur-related movies, dinosaurs are very difficult to kill. But we have some more direct comparisons as to animals, predators of this size against humans, like lions even, or roundabout, Is there a better comparison to a Utah raptor size thing versus there's lion?
There was a time in Florida a while back where this guy was wearing a Barney costume and had a meth rampage.
Yeah, fighting a lion or really big bear, okay? And it's not necessarily to say that a raptor or a dinosaur of similar size would be better or more effective in combat than those animals. Yes, it's got a big mouth, but I mean, so do crocodiles. They got big mouths. And you got small arms. Look, you can't even reach past your own head. See, try and...
Him saying that reminds me of a movie. I forget what it was called. Where the dinosaur is trying to get a kid. And it can't reach. And it's too big. Its head's too big. And the guy's like, why aren't you capturing him? Because I have a big head and tiny arms. That's what this reminds me of.
Imagine, do you have a scratch on your head? Imagine if you had a scratch on your head. Go on, try and scratch your head. Try and scratch your head then. No, you scratch your head.
Oh, yeah.
See? Dinosaurs, they got problems. I'm just saying. Okay? So, one of the issues would be is stopping power. Well, actually, no, even before then, okay? Let's just address, could a dinosaur of this size actually, how easy would it be to offend a knight in armor? It comes down to biting force. So try. I can feel some pressure. There's some pressure there. I mean, okay, you can let go now. I don't think it could bite through hardened steel metal. Depends on the quality of metal. If I was just wearing chainmail, I reckon the force would have the potential to break my bones.
I'm not really sure. Because I'm not really sure. Because having armor on definitely augments you physically, right? And hard metal armor, I don't know. I really don't know. Then again, humans were screwing up other humans with swords and spears and stuff, so I don't know. I really don't know. Didn't some of the bite forces for the projected bite force of a lot of those, dinosaurs could just bite clean through somebody with a huge amount of force? I could be wrong about that. Someone would need to fact check me on that one to know the total PSI versus like plate armor.
But if there's enough structure in my armor, we could compare the bite force of a raptor to something like a crocodile, I think. That would be fair. The armor might actually protect me for a decent amount. I think a helmet, like a metal helmet, would all right, let's try it, go. So, I can't feel a thing. Are you even trying? Come on. Try, bite harder. Oh, so. And something I noticed, your teeth, it was hard for the teeth to find purchase on this smooth metal. There were some little things that could get caught on. So, armor is doing its job fairly effectively. So to just say that like a raptor, a dinosaur, could easily defeat a knight, the armor is actually going to protect you a decent amount, I think. What do you think the primary areas are to bite at, raptor? You are the raptor. So if I was like, yeah, where would you go for first? My head or arms, I think. Try and, yeah, but you don't, look, you're dead! See, this is the other thing. Whatever Jurassic Park tries to tell you, dinosaurs are stupid compared to humans, all right? Hey, down, easy there, we'll get there.
I mean, maybe, but then again, so are most animals in the animal kingdom, but a lot of them could mess us up. They could eat us. Like a bear, I don't care how much armor you're wearing, a bear is gonna really mess you up. Really severely mess you up. Bub. You don't want to mess with a bear. And then, like, I really don't know. There's a lot of modern animals where if you were to try to walk up on them with armor, they just mess you up. And it's not because they are necessarily smarter than us, but it's because they're ferocious, tenacious, and they have natural weapons that they're very good with. I think that's a factor in play. I don't know. Nobody's tested it, so I guess we wouldn't find out unless somebody put on actual armor and then walked up to a lion. Like, we wouldn't know. Unless there's historical examples of this, which I have no idea. If somebody can find that would be awesome. Let me know in the comments.
Get there. Gosh, I thought he was trained. So, if they actually try and bite a weapon, like we saw before, you know, they might be up for a rude awakening. It's not to say that a dinosaur couldn't offend a knight or damage him. If you get a tooth in the right area, especially if you knock me off my feet, you've got more mass, and if you're just, you know, mauling down on me, is it you maul me? Yeah, and start mauling me, I might be hard-pressed to defend. This is when you have there would be a backup. If the dinosaur is committed to attacking me, okay, if I can't take it out in a good solid hit, it could just bear down on me and start to knock me off my feet. And if that's the case, suddenly a really big weapon is getting in the way. It'd be hard to fight, so I'll need to drop it, pull the knife, and if the armor, hey, you'll get your weapon. No weapon yet, all right? Okay, over there, stay. Good boy. If the armor can protect me enough, even when the dinosaur bears down on me, if it can keep me alive enough to get a smaller weapon out, and I just go crazy in its eye, in its neck, I think that would be effective. That could kill it. We should address something important. Animals, if they're smart, we don't know how smart this dinosaur is, but they know where the kill shot is, and it's the throat. A lot of knights, though, have throat protection, and the mouth is too big to wrap around my neck without getting caught on either my armor or my helmet. Try. Can you just get my neck without... You're getting caught on the helmet, you see? It's getting caught on the helmet. So, with this scientific test with a dinosaur, I think that establishes pretty categorical...
That's a hell of a scientific method you're using, my man. But, I mean, he can't be entirely wrong. And a lot of this is just for fun. So, and it's pretty fun to watch. His mate over there is a trooper, I gotta say.
It wouldn't be as easy for this type of dinosaur to get wrapped around my neck and reach a vulnerable area.
You're saying I wouldn't be able to get wrapped around your neck?
Wrapped around?
Wrapped around?
So, knife is going to be a very important backup. But it would be better if you could take out the dinosaur in one solid hit. And I'm not sure a longsword would be able to do that. They have very thick, scaly hide. They almost have like a type of armor themselves. And so unless, all right, Raptor. So, and when you charge me, unless I can get maybe right in the mouth, but look, he's got he's evading, right? So maybe,
Ow!
What?
That hurt my mouth.
That's the point.
Dude, I thought we were doing a test here.
Look, it's fine.
Right in the mouth, right in the mouth.
I know, look, I think you're okay.
Ow!
You okay?
Yeah, okay. Ow.
Look, there might be some more.
Bugger.
Okay? But...
I wonder if there's any age restrictions on these videos. I don't think there are. Because this would be something fun for kids to watch, I would think.
There we go. In the mouth. That's what you'd want to aim for. But if he clump... Do you reckon you could capture? Like if I go in and you chomp and you capture it... Oh! But all right. Can you reach me with your claws if you caught my sword? And I was like... Do you see one of the weaknesses of their short arms? Come on, try. Yeah, you're really trying? See? I don't know. The weakness to short arms. Those claws could be nullified. But there are ways in which you could defend against a sword or survive the hit because you've got a very scaly hide. Because they have a type of armor. But this is the thing. Knights, we're used to fighting people in armor. This here would be a more effective weapon against, it would have a high chance of piercing the hide, okay? And you can keep them at a distance. And because remember, dinosaurs.
I was going to mention that that a spear would seem pretty effective. A spear or an axe. Because with an axe you have a lot more force on on a certain surface area. And the same thing with a spear. With a spear, if you put your weight behind it, you could actually, there's accounts of spears going right through people, even wearing certain types of armor. So a spear or an axe would probably be most effective. Or a flail or a mace. Because with a flail, you're keeping them at a distance, and anytime they get close, you smack them with the flail. Or with a mace, you can incur a lot of blunt force trauma. And even break bone if you're able to hit hard enough. So Yeah, those would be most effective, I would think. A sword, not so much. I don't know. A sword, a dagger, but then you have to get into close range. So a dagger would be a weapon of last resort, I would think.
Yes, they are, okay? Just the animals. If he's going to charge me and is not aware of this weapon, we see this with other animals, I think, he could charge onto the spear and just go, just like that. But if you miss and the dinosaur's charging against you, it's hard to try and get a flag, but then you need the dagger. So as good as a spear is, what about an axe? Alrighty, something like this. With a big solid hit, almost wherever you hit the dinosaur, you're gonna feel it, aren't you? It's gonna hurt you.
And with like a long pulled axe, if you miss on the first swing, you could swap your grip. So let me make myself a little bit bigger. So with an axe, even if you miss one swing, you could just swap your hand on the handle and come around for another swing. You can use the front or back. You can use the back end of an axe for blunt force trauma, and the front end of the axe for chopping, essentially. So you could swing, 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 swing. So yeah, it would be. I think the axe would be a lot more effective, I would think. Then again, you know, with a spear, it could be a one-strike weapon. With an axe, you kind of have to chop away. Although if you're very well trained with a spear, you can do a lot with it. You can do a great amount with a spear. And there's even axes that are double-headed axes, like a woodcutter's axe. They have two different blades on them, and so you could keep on chopping. And swapping your grip isn't very hard. So yeah, I would think that would be pretty effective.
Hurt ya. So a two-handed axe. Well, all right. If we're looking at that, let's do what they did in history and combine the best. Get the best of both worlds. And that's when we get the halberd. Yeah. You're scared now, aren't you?
Oh yeah, that's right. Halberds existed. If I remember correctly, the halberds would have the hook on the back to try and unseat knights, so that they could grab a hold of the knight, drag him off his horse, and then finish him with the main blade of the axe, or something like that. Something like that. I would have to brush up on my my history of medieval weapons again to remember exactly. Gosh, I read that so long ago. I need to brush up on a lot of stuff, apparently.
What do you think of this?
Don't hurt me.
So we've got the spear action, and look, in reality, if a dinosaur, if they came back, a gun with like a good high caliber round should take it out. I get annoyed at how difficult it is for people in the modern world to take out dinosaurs. But even in the medieval world, a knight, a properly trained knight, most dinosaur encounters, if it's a similar size, should go something like this.
Here's Barney. I am defeated.
I'll try that again.
You cannot kill a dinosaur! No! I see my ancestors.
I do think a good solid hit from a halberd to, like, you know, a Utah Raptors head would take it out of the game. So,
However,
what if
Utah Raptor pulled out of Book of Mormon and instead came in peace? What do you think of that?
I would have to just accept. Okay, I would listen. I would want to test and read, and then I'll find out to be true, and I'd end up, you know, getting baptized.
Yeah, but it was a ruse.
Tricky Mormon dino.
What if it came with a Book of Mormon and came in peace? But it was a ruse! I like this kind of cheeky content. I do.
Dinosaurs. The matchup between knight versus dinosaur of similar size is actually... Honestly, it doesn't look well for the dinosaur. But what if the dinosaur had a weapon? So, I want to check, what's the range of movement for that weapon there? Yeah? What about your head? I'd be worried about your head. You've got to be careful.
Ow! Okay. I see what you did.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
You did! I got ya!
Alright, that's it. Oh, you think you're so good with your warm blood, huh?
Yeah, I know I am.
Well, let me show you.
This is quite entertaining just to watch them goof around. But I mean, he does raise some good questions, like what would be the outcome ultimately? You know, if velociraptors were ambush predators and they hunted in packs, you would need like a whole company of knights versus a bunch of velociraptors. But, you know, reality would probably be much different, right? You know, the velociraptors would attack, and if you have like a company of knights, probably won't end up well for the dinosaur. Although, of course, some knights would definitely get killed, because one of them would find a claw somewhere or purchase somewhere else, or who knows. So yeah, like, it is interesting to think about, though.
Oh yeah, alright.
Yeah, right.
Don't even need weapons. Here's the thing.
What?
Here's the thing, right? Atomic breath.
So a knight would be able to fare much better.
Atomic breath. Like Godzilla.
Than is often depicted against dinosaurs of similar size. But what about larger size, like a Tyrannosaurus rex? So after deep scientific research, this is a very accurate representation of how it likely would end up going. I shall fight thee, beast, for I am not afraid. Come and face the righteous wrath of my...
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Oh man, these guys are wild.
Does this really look like I'm working on it? That was you touching my tail?
Alright, there we go. Brandon Peters, you are welcome. There we go, from Shadivirsity. Let's read some of the comments. They have to be hilarious. Toaster Pastry says, domesticating Triceratops and using it for heavy cavalry would be a tremendous tactical advantage. Oh, yeah. I mean, look at what they did with elephants. Seriously. Okay, someone has something to say here. Since you're going for a Utah Raptor or something around that size, the biggest danger they provide to a knight would definitely be blunt force. Yeah, if I remember, the Utah Raptor weighed a lot. Utah Raptor weighed around half a ton. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Bub. Imagine that going like just even 20 miles an hour and hitting you. That would hurt. Your brain's getting rattled hard. Putting it around the size of a horse. If it leapt at you, you failed to land a serious blow with whatever weapon you're using. That would absolutely not be fun, even if you're wearing full plate armor that prevented the teeth claws and claws from shredding your flesh. It's basically like fighting a half-ton bear, or even the largest saber cats. The teeth and claws may be nullified, but not their sheer weight and strength. That said, a knight could still absolutely kill an animal that size. It will require effort, and you need to have the mental fortitude to stand his ground against a big predatory beast, but it could be done. Also, a dinosaur is actually around the same size as a knight. In terms of mass, would be Deinonychus, which doesn't have any edge in weight or physical strength going for it. It would stand a chance against a medieval knight. It wouldn't stand a chance against a medieval knight. Frankly, no real-life animal that weight range would. Steel weapons and armor are already too much. Possibly. Alright. So there we go. There we go. From Shadivirsity, nice destroy dinosaurs scientific proof. It's a parody. Okay? It's a parody. But kind of funny. But kind of serious. But kind of not serious. It's Shadivirsity. I pretty much got everything I need to know about this guy from here. I love it. I love it. So what did y'all think? What did y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments. Alright. Thank you to Brendan Peters for recommending this one. James J, don't worry. Yours is going to be next in the live stream tonight. And it's going to be from Let Me Know. I think I say it right. It's either Let Me Know or Let Me Know. Something like that. So yeah, that'll be in the live stream tonight. I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I did. It was kind of funny. But it does raise some good questions. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Alright, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. If you like me, if you like these videos, you like what I do, then please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And become a member by clicking the join button that's down below, or clicking the link that's in the description box down below if you want to join the channel for the pittance per month. And to help keep the channel around past the 30th of July, which is going to be the deadline, essentially, we only need like 5 more members, honestly. So, yeah. That being said, be good. Be safe. Make good life for yourselves. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Black Cat Badger, out.